Amber and I are here with the Petaus. They are the firefighting family.
Heroes.
Heroes, sorry, we're going to get that straight. So today we are going to show you how to use a fire extinguisher because we have one, but we don't know how to use it. And the heroes are going to show us the proper way, and they're going to start a fire.
Right, if you have a fire, whether it's in the garage or in your barbecue, call 911 first. Get them on the way, because in the event that the extinguisher doesn't work or you don't know how to use it, but you're going to know how to use it here pretty soon, you've got those guys on the way for a couple of reasons. First of all, if it's indoors, there's going to be a lot of smoke, it's going to stink, and they have fans and all that other stuff to blow all the smoke out. The second thing that's really important is, if you have a fire, is they will do a report. Your insurance company will want a report, most likely, if you have a fire. They're going to call the fire department and say, send me the fire report. Okay, so we are going to demonstrate this. Do not do this at home. Okay, we are trained professionals, believe it or not. So we're going to show you. So this is a fire extinguisher, obviously, that Kim brought over, and this is about the size you should have for your house. 5-pounder they call it, and this will put out just about any fire that you might have in your house, provided it's pretty small. The acronym we use to use a fire extinguisher is PASS, P-A-S-S. Okay, and the first thing is, the P is for pull. So you're going to pull the pin. Now you'll notice that the pins all come with like a little tie strap on there. So that's so the pin doesn't fall out when you're just walking around with it. They're kind of hard to pull. You're going to have to pull hard. The A is for aim. Okay, so you're going to aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. The first S is for squeeze, which you're going to squeeze the handle, and the second S is for sweep. So you're going to sweep at the base of the fire. If the fire length is up here, you don't care about putting it up here. You want it down where the fire is. Okay? Questions? Seeing none, we'll get started.
Oh yeah.
Now, once again, we've called 911 already. We just pretended we've called 911 because 911 is actually here.
Got the pin pulled out. I'm going to take one hand and aim the nozzle here, and then when I squeeze it, it says black trigger up top, and I'm going to, like my dad said, aim at the base of the fire and then just sweep until it gets put out.
Done. Good. Done.
Wow. That was
Way to go.
Crisis averted.
That's the most amount of fire we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's really simple. You saw that put out gasoline and some cardboard, and we just used a little bit of this. I'm going to say one of these, if you just use it continuously, is maybe a minute.
Yeah.
So it'll put out a lot of fire.
Do you reuse it?
No, that's a good question. Very good.
You can look at the gauge here. It shows we're still just below full, but it'll go all the way down to empty. So if you're doing any sort of inspection, make sure that you're still in the green. And if not, you want to buy a new one to make sure that it's fully charged.
And once you've used one of these once, it's done. Okay, throw it away. Because what's going to happen is you broke a little seal up here, and it will eventually leak. So where do you put one of these? Okay, most fires are either in the garage, or a kitchen, or the grill, the outside grill. Yeah, that happens a lot where we burn the back of the house off from a grill. And now I have my extinguisher mounted in my garage, but it's on my way out of the house between the garage and the kitchen. So that's where I'm most likely, especially if I'm cooking, most likely we're going to have a fire in the kitchen. Or if I'm working on a car in my garage, we could likely have a fire in the garage. So anyway, so we got a little fire going again. We're going to have Kim and Amber.
You pulled the pin. I'm going to aim.
Yeah.
Aim, and then squeeze.
P-A-S-S.
And the base.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So that's what puts the fires out. There's chemical in here. It says just water. It's dry chem. So what it does is it smothers the fire instead of using water to put it out.
It is non-toxic, they say, although I don't want to eat any of it. But
Okay.
aim,
and
squeeze, and sweep.
sweep.
There you go.
Really good.
So,
It's almost empty.
yeah. So,
Okay. All
but
right.
that will put out, believe it or not, a lot of fire.
Stop, drop, and roll is not a thing. Yeah.
Is that right, Keegan?
Right.
What
So
happened
what
to that?
So why don't you explain that?
Well, if you're on fire, what you want to do is take your clothes off. Rolling around is probably not going to do you a whole lot of good. So take your clothes off. That's what's going to be on fire, and find some water. Yeah, that's stuff for medical emergencies, stuff like that. A lot of people will put their DNR there or any sort of medications that they're on. But as far as a fire goes, it's not really something you'll look at. That's no problem.
We'll get in. We'll get in. Well, it's a lot less damage if your door is unlocked, but they'll get in. First of all, if your smoke detectors are working,
Yes.
right?
Oh yeah, new
So-
batteries every year.
Year?
Well, I'm a little crazy.
How about 6 months?
Oh,
Haven't you ever heard
geez.
change your clocks, change your batteries, your smoke detectors? You've never heard that?
6 months? Why
Wow.
are you looking at me like that?
Do you guys change your
Look
batteries
at
every
every-
6 months?
I do, yep.
Yeah.
You do?
Now they do have smoke detectors now. The newer ones have 10-year batteries.
Yes,
Okay.
with the combination of the carbon.
Yes, carbon monoxide and
Can
smoke.
I interrupt real quick?
Please do.
With the carbon monoxide, will you tell people where they have to have it? A lot of people think it needs to be up high. A lot of people says it needs to be down low. But your brother told me a long time ago it doesn't matter where it is. Would you answer that question?
Yeah, I have one on every level of the house because a lot of people think that carbon monoxide sinks to the basement, but that's not true. It's got about the same density of air, so it's going to mix with air. So wherever the leak is, that's generally where it's going to stay. So it doesn't matter if it's up high or down low, but on every level of the house.
And where I put mine is, I have one that plugs in. I put it right over my heat vent, because if you have a broken furnace in your house and it's emitting carbon monoxide, it will come up through the heat vent, and it will trigger that right away. Most people die in their houses from fire, and they don't have escape plans. So you have to have an escape plan. You have to have a meeting place out front. So what you need to do is get together with your family and say, all right, if we have a fire in the house, this is where we're going to go. We're going to go out the front door if we can, as quickly as we can, or we're going to go out the back door and then come to the front yard, because you want to have a meeting place out front, because the first thing the firefighters are going to do when they roll up, they're going to say, is everybody out of the house? And if you can look around and go, yep, everybody's out of the house, then they react way differently than if there's somebody in the house. If there's somebody in the house, they're just going to go,
Stack a lot of stuff around their HVAC units in the basement. Like my dad said, keep 3 feet around your HVAC unit. We go into people's basements all the time, and there's stuff stacked all up against them, which makes it hard to get to, and then it just makes that space between there. I mean, heat emitting from there is going to heat up the stuff around there. So keep the areas around there clear.
call 911. That's what they're there for. I know that everybody goes, well, then they send eight big fire trucks and 50 guys and all that, and well, you know what? That's what happens. So don't worry about it. Don't just call them, get them on the road, get them coming, and then if you get the fire out, you put it out with the extinguisher. They're happy, you're happy, but then they'll make a report for the insurance company.
That's
Yeah.
part I didn't think about. I've learned a lot today.
Yeah.
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 Thank you for the public service announcement. Seriously, a lot of people do have streaming devices, so they don't have commercials. They don't know what to do.
Okay.